got the spotlight, you got the microphone. All they have to do is run some karaoke.
I would just sing the line.
Got the spotlight, you got the microphone. Run some karaoke.
So, I got it. I replied. Did you not get my reply? Okay. So, I got it. Did you not get my reply? We worked and worked on it. We're still at it.
Call to order the North Myrtle Beach Planning Commission meeting of Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. Madam Secretary, may we have the roll call?
Chairman Cattouli,
Present.
Commissioner Bellamy,
Here.
Commissioner Goszewski,
Present.
Commissioner Horton,
Present.
Commissioner Oler, Commissioner Prince,
Present.
Commissioner Wise. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Assume everyone's had a chance to look at the meeting minutes from last meeting, and if everyone's happy with them, I entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. No old business, and we have new business.
Item 5A is sketch plan SUB 25-19. This is a sketch plan of subdivision creating 41 residential lots, open space, and public rights-of-way at Harper Valley off of Tommy Chestnut Road. And we are requesting to postpone this to the next meeting.
Any discussion about that postponement?
We discussed it this morning. I think it's have to postpone it.
Okay, and then I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the Planning Commission postpone the sketch plan SUB-25-19 prepared for Harper Valley as submitted.
A second.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item 5B is the first public hearing regarding the First Amendment to the Development Agreement for Lorette Associates Tract. This is just the first public hearing for that DA, and the applicant's requesting to postpone this to the next meeting.
Any discussion about this requested postponement? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we postpone the hearing regarding the First Amendment to the Development Agreement for Laureate Associates Tract.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
We have item 6A rezoning request Z2512, requesting the rezoning of 31 parcels containing 8.32 acres located on Yale Kings Highway. They are currently zoned R1 and are requesting the zoning district R1B. The parcels are vacant and undeveloped. Surrounding parcels are zoned R1, R1B, and R3. So comparison of existing and proposed zoning, R1 and R1B districts do share the same purpose, which is to preserve and protect the character of existing neighborhoods and subdivisions, and to prohibit any uses which would compromise or alter existing conditions and uses. These districts are intended to encourage residential infilling and expansion of existing neighborhoods and subdivisions. Development land uses permitted in each are designed to reflect existing conditions and enhance the prospects of live development. Permitted uses within both districts are also the same, which are single-family detached dwellings, community parks, golf courses, publicly owned recreation facilities, and churches. To go over the questions we considered by ordinance, the relationship of the request to the comprehensive plan, the proposed zoning, R1B is a primary recommended zoning district for RS and a secondary recommended zoning district for RPC within the compliance index. Whether the request violates or supports the plan, the proposed R1B zoning is consistent with residential suburban land use classification, but inconsistent with the RPC land use classification found in the 2018 comprehensive plan. Whether the uses permitted by the proposed change would be appropriate in the area. Uses permitted in the R1 district would be appropriate in this area. We do have 2 large tracts flanking the property, sharing the R1B zoning. Access is subject to city encroachment. Permit approval, public water and sewer are available. There are no issues at the staff level, so if you do choose to forward to city council, I do recommend option A, where necessary to implement the comprehensive plan.
Any discussion by the commission? We discussed it at this morning's workshop, and I think we clarified some things, but just to be clear, the way the lots are drawn with the submission, according to the what you've got up on the screen, for example, that isn't what's going to ultimately wind up there.
Correct, we will see a subdivision plat further in the future.
Any other discussion, questions?
The lots, where the lots end and what, is that marshland or wetland?
Right in
On the
here.
bottom, no, where it says subject area requesting R1B. That big block.
Yeah, there is a pond there. Is that wetland? Yeah, we haven't seen the plat that we have is from 68. It looks like salt marsh. It doesn't, I don't have anything indicating it's a wetland, but we do have the pond and it is in the flood zone VE area.
Are you able to get the satellite like we saw this morning, and maybe that'll help Joe better?
Well, no, I'm just looking at it as far as when we looked this morning and we saw the flood zones and the flood maps. I guess when we see it again, we'll see how far they want to extend into that flood-prone area, but that's really all I was asking.
Yeah, we'll see, once the survey and the platting work is done, we'll see and have more up-to-date information. But I'll try to get this pulled up. So we have, Here's going to be the VE zone. And so we have in this kind of area that you're talking about, we have the VE and then the AE zone that goes all into here.
So are you able to take away the light blue and the dark blue, and then it gives us what it looks like to be a pond or the extension of the marsh that goes in there, like that whole area there on the bottom?
Yeah, but I cannot say if that is wetland. I don't have any of that information.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussions?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Planning Commission recommend approval of the rezoning request Z 2512 as submitted.
Chairman, do we need to call for public comment? I didn't.
Public
Yeah.
comment first.
Pardon?
Public comment before we take our vote.
Yeah.
Usually take a
Second.
motion, then you get a second, then you do discussion, then you do the vote. That's Robert's Rules of Order.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd like to invite any public comment. Sure.
Hi, it's Michael Lake, 1124 Marshview Drive, North Myrtle. I own property bordering what's in discussion. Is it my understanding that someone said that what we're seeing on that proposed, was it that Z125 or whatever it was? Yeah, the Z2512. That's not what it's going to be, the way the lots are proposed there?
No.
Okay,
That's what it is currently.
right.
We'll be seeing a plat in the future.
It's my understanding, basically, is all they're asking to do is fit more
This
homes into that, is
This
that-
request right now is just to be rezoned to R1B.
which will allow for more lots, smaller lots than what's proposed. Is that basically what it is, the rezoning request?
It's hard to say what, the minimum lot size will be 6,000 square
Okay,
feet.
and right now, it's 10,000.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, all they're doing is just shrinking the lot size. That's what this request is asking?
Yes, for this area.
Okay. Now, there's already paper roads in there with sewer lines. Will those roads possibly be moved as well?
Those roads are not consistent with our design standards, and the roads will be replatted as well.
Okay, so they possibly can be, okay. Okay. That's all I have now. Now, when you rezone, or replot this, there'll be another meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Any more discussion by the commissioners? I think we have a motion on the floor.
Ed, your motion was to approve, correct?
Yes.
As submitted. I'll second that.
Thought I had.
Oh, did you already?
Did you?
That's why I was asking public comment.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Guys have it. Okay, 6B.
Next, we have item 6B, annexation and zoning designation Z2513, with a petition to annex 2 acres on Water Tower Road. The lot is currently unincorporated and zoned to CFA by Horry County. This petition is requesting the zoning district highway commercial. We received a petition earlier in the year for this parcel requesting limited industrial. The petition received approval from Planning Commission, but failed to receive approval from City Council. Council expressed that they would prefer to see highway commercial for this parcel, so the applicant withdrew the original petition and resubmitted for highway commercial. The parcel is fully developed for commercial use. It is currently J&J Electric. It is improved with a modern commercial structure featuring paved access, utilities, and site enhancements. Surrounding parcels within the same limits are zoned LI and R2A, and surrounding county parcels are zoned CFA. The questions we consider by ordinance, the relationship of the request to the comprehensive plan, the proposed zoning designation, highway commercial is not a primary or secondary recommended zoning district within the compliance index, whether the request violates or supports the plan. The proposed highway commercial zoning is inconsistent with the residential suburban land use classification in our 2018 comprehensive plan. Whether the uses permitted by the proposed change would be appropriate in the area. So the parcel is located in a transition area between highways 90 and 22, which are major transportation corridors. We do see contractors, suppliers, and storage facilities, and with their accessibility on these transition areas. At the same time, residential neighborhoods are steadily growing in this area. Therefore, the highway commercial zone district is designed to provide commercial opportunities along busy routes, keeping impacts on nearby homes to a minimum. In this case, highway commercial is appropriate since it is supporting commercial activity and helping ensure the future development is more compatible with the residential growth happening nearby. Access is subject to South Carolina DOT encroachment permit approval, and public water and sewer is available through Grand Strand Water and Sewer. There are no issues at the staff level, so if you choose to forward to City Council with recommendations of approval, I recommend option C, to recognize substantial change or changing conditions or circumstances in a particular locality, which is most relevant to the request.
Any thoughts on this? I do have a question. Noticing that the request is for rezoning, or, I'm sorry, requesting HC zone for this parcel, if it's included in the city. And in the nearby area, we have an LI zone. Is it the intent to make the HC zone if adjoining parcels are annexed in to be a buffer between LI and the R2?
So I know City Council expressed concern for the future of this area. There was some concerns about a concrete plant going in this area, and I think that's why they are more comfortable with the highway commercial.
So it's conceivable that the highway commercial would be a good buffer between the light industrial and the residential areas.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Well, my concern is that we should be closing donut holes, not creating them. And unless the adjacent properties come in as highway commercial, or if they don't come in at all, this just extends the map in another odd jug handle kind of thing of the city of North Myrtle Beach. And we still have these pockets. I like seeing commercial rather than residential, but there's no guarantee of what's going to come in between Kirchy's Road and J&J.
Given the surrounding areas, though, I think it's not likely to be residential. It's probably going to be either continuation of light industrial or commercial, highway commercial. And whether it's in the county or in the city, it's not going to appear to be any different.
If whoever buys and chooses to develop the other properties that are in the county, if they don't come to us and petition for some kind of a zoning, then they're under the, not very likely that they'll have to go to the county and ask for some kind of a zoning change, because it's just CFF. But I think the idea would be as others approached us about bringing those properties into the city that were adjacent to this or to other city property, then I think the opportunity would be to encourage that, look toward that zoning area, definitely filling in back toward Highway 90 would be that it would be commercial.
Any other discussion or questions? Okay, I'll call for a motion, please.
I move that the Plan Commission recommend approval of the annexation and zoning petition. I got the wrong page. Z2513 as submitted, reflecting C to recognize substantial change or changing conditions or circumstances in a particular locality.
Second.
Okay, motion was seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item 6C is zoning ordinance text amendment ZTX 25-10. This amendment revises the definition of sign regarding murals. I know we spoke about this a lot this morning. So you have the original version in your packet, and then I've updated the text in the ordinance. So it would read, sign, any device, fixture, painting, or visual image using words, graphics, symbols, numbers, or letters designed and used for the purpose of communicating a message or attracting attention, including structures whose purpose can be reasonably construed to communicate a message or attract attention. Customary graphics found on soft drink and newspaper dispensers and similar machines shall not be considered as signs. Murals that are primarily artistic in nature shall not be considered signs. A mural may include incidental commercial references, provided that such commercial content does not exceed 10% of the total mural area. This incidental commercial content shall be considered in addition to the signage otherwise permitted for the property and shall not count against the maximum sign allotment, but is limited to 15% of the total sign area otherwise allowed on the property. To address our concern about someone creating a massive mural so they could get 10% of huge copy. Yeah.
So just using it as a figure, so if you're entitled to 200 square feet, if they decide to put the mural, all right, they would be entitled to use 15 more percent. So say another 30 square feet for that incidental 10% of the mural.
Correct, yeah. That would max out their commercial copy in the mural. They could work backwards or they could work forwards, either way, yeah.
But it would also be capped at the size of the mural as 10%, not 10% of the sign capacity.
Yeah.
That's a cap. But the mural is, the maximum is 10% of the mural.
Yes, the mural could be as big as they wanted, but the commercial copy could only be 10% of the mural, provided that that 10% was only 15% of the allowed signage.
So,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
so if they had a 300 square foot mural, the 10% would give them the 30 if they were entitled to 200 square feet, and the 30 and the 30 would match, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
It's all about the numbers.
So the signage, the commercial part of it, is there any limitation as to location on the mural?
No.
Oh, one other thing. What about glass surfaces? Can a mural cover a storefront window?
I don't know why you would want it to cover a storefront window.
You shouldn't want it to, but conceivably it could happen.
There are different rules for signage in windows.
Yeah, but this is on a window, not in a window.
Yeah.
And it's going to be part of a larger mural.
And there are those wraps that go across, like you can wrap a whole car, including the windows.
Yeah.
And you can see.
One of the few things that I read, I thought they can only cover up the window 25%. I think that was the number. You can only cover up that window on the front of the building 25%.
That's in the sign ordinance.
Yeah.
I would have to get back to you on that.
Yeah. Maybe something to consider. I don't know how likely it is to happen, but, you know, I'm thinking of all the possibilities.
Listen, like Callie said, it's a slippery slope.
Yep.
What is this going to open up? How are we trying to define our First Amendment rights, if it gets to that, if it gets political, or what we believe, hey, our expression of speech? Where do we go? We're putting together an arts commission. We want to see stuff, murals or a form of art. I'd love to see everything look like the beach, because if that's what we're here to maintain, what we have with the beach community. And the example we had this morning, Mr. Chairman, you saw the beach, saw the ocean, saw a lounge chair, a guitar, and sunset or sunrise, whatever that was, palm tree.
No. Council passed the ordinance addressing outdoor display. And I think while this is not merchandise, it could undermine that ordinance by advertising of merchandise and services.
If the mural is permanent, unless they're going to continue to paint over it and display some other different merchandise based on the sale?
Ultimately, this is a recommendation that does go to council.
Well, really, I guess the thing is, as we've introduced this today, we're attempting to set aside something that puts some limitations on murals. And of course, we have them, I mean, they're all throughout our community in some form or fashion, where, and of course, as we design something to actually rein it in to some degree, we have to start somewhere. And I think this is a pretty good place to start with it. And then, of course, the idea is if what we're doing doesn't work and it
What recourse do
becomes
we have?
abusive, we can take additional steps in the future. But I think at this juncture, trying to put some guidelines on it, I think with the idea of what we did, we talked about the 10%, and then we limited it by saying it still can't expand your total sign capacity more than 15% of whatever is the maximum that applies for that use and or that district. I think it's pretty reasonable to start to do something with it, because we got to start somewhere and stop somewhere, and this seems to be reasonable.
Not everybody loves every mural, obviously, but they are a useful tool in placemaking. Public art is a useful tool. You can create a destination. People want to go and get their photographs in front of it. It makes the city just feel more alive and vibrant. We are, as a city, trying to encourage public art, and we're creating a public arts commission, and that is moving forward. So by allowing 10% of a mural to be commercial content, I do believe we are encouraging more murals through that. They get their message through a little bit. But again, it's up to you and city council on whether they want to do this.
You know, I've got a thought about, along those lines, with regard to the murals themselves. The murals are supposed to be an artistic item on a building to do what you said, you know, destination or artwork, whatever. Along those lines, though, artistic works on buildings, usually you have for example, if you have a painting on canvas, you're going to have the artist's name somewhere signed off on that. But since we're talking about something that's on constant public display and is supposed to be artistic in nature, can't we limit the commercial aspect of it to a particular size, and something like this mural courtesy of the business that sponsored the painting or something like that?
This ordinance does limit it to a particular size with the 10% of the mural and the 15% of the total area of the allowed signage.
Right, this does not address us having murals in town. It addresses the commercialization of the mural.
Yes.
Is what it's about. It's not
Right.
about the mural problem. There's not a mural problem. It's about the commercialization of the mural.
Does the 15% cap, does the requested mural,
Yes,
does it fit within that?
yes.
Because it looks like it does limit it. 17 by 19 was the mural, right?
15 by 19.
15 by 19.
It was
Under the 300, it was
285. They're allowed 200 right now, so this would allow them another 30, and it was 28.5 square feet. So it's,
Everything
The algorithm seems to work. It definitely does.
works for
that.
this one. where-
and you saw what percentage that was, I mean, of commercial copy.
And that's one of the larger pieces that they're receiving 50 square feet more and allowing 200 to allow for their changing of their,
And what we were talking about this morning was, you know, we got the one at 17 by 19, but the discussion began, you know, what if it was 25 feet by 150 feet? Then how big that sign will get? And we said, okay, we're going to bring that down, that even if it was a huge mural,
it's still a
you're
small
still going
piece.
to have the small.
Yeah, and highway commercial's capped at 150, unless it's a theater, it gets 200, and these shopping centers get 1 square foot per linear foot of frontage, which is very limited.
I think we put a reasonable cap on it.
Oh, absolutely. Because now they're going to calculate how big my mural actually could be for me to put a substantial commercialization of it, advertising my business or whoever it was. And just with the theater alone, he's hitting the 10%, and that's all. He's going to get a 300 square foot. That's it.
And I hope that we have reasonable and responsible businesses that are going to do tasteful things on the side of their business.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't think they would be wanting to do something that would hurt their business.
No, but like when the Tiki God appeared, our response was pretty swift, I think, in changing the ordinance. So we still,
It happens again.
but we still have the Tiki God.
Yeah. After the fact.
So it was one.